and tell you to clean up the crumbs after.
So mainstream dating advice tells you to put effort into the first date. You want to be at your best behavior. You want to impress her with the awesome Italian restaurant and your new haircut. You want to be the perfect gentleman, pay for drinks, have another backup activity in mind in case you get bored at the bar, and nothing should be missing. How could you not? First impressions count, right? They do, and that's exactly why you should make the first date basic. I've been there as well. Before my first dates, I racked my brains about what to do. I spent hours reading reviews of ice cream places and wrote down topics I could talk about in case the conversation died down. I'll tell you something. The best dates I had were the most basic ones. A walk in the green, some tea at a cafe, a store-bought beer on a park bench. Why? Because when you're on a first date, your goal isn't to impress the other person. Your goal is to get to know them and find out if they're worth the effort in the first place. You want to find out if you two vibe and are a good match, not if she falls for your masquerade. You'll also be less nervous and less invested because if things don't work out, you only invested 2 hours of your time, not $150 at a steakhouse. If you're a good match, sitting on a bench and talking won't get boring. If you have trouble diving into deep conversations, then go to a bar or take a walk around town. There'll be people and other things to see and talk about. But what if she thinks I'm cheap? Let me put it this way. Would you want a woman who thinks you're cheap because you don't shell out $100 on someone you don't know? It's a great way to filter out gold diggers. Plus, you not investing much up front also tells her you aren't needy, but confident enough so you don't have to show off. And women find confidence sexy as hell.
Yeah. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, no, I definitely, I have strong feelings about that, yeah.
Yeah.
If a guy, if this is a first date and a guy spends that much money, it goes back to the last thing we talked about. But I also feel like this person's a little irresponsible with their money.
Yeah.
Like, how often do they do this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. It's just like
said,
okay, you're spending that money on everyone that you take out, not because you want to spend that money on me. It's because that's just what you do on first dates.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want someone to choose to spend that money on me because they want to take me out and do something special, not something that they do for everyone on a first date.
Yeah. And like, if someone's going to take me to a restaurant, like, they're going to have to know who I am first. Know a bit more about me so they can pick the right restaurant. Now, if I'm asking someone, I'll choose a restaurant or whatever, but you know, you'd want it to be a little personalized or something. But yeah, and also time commitment. Like, I want people to respect my time, and if someone got this big old date planned, I'd be like, this is the first date and you're expecting me to spend all this time.
Yeah.
Like, it's stress. Like, I'm already stressed out. I'm like, this is a lot. This is too much.
Yeah.
Like, you know, can commit that. And like you said, no one wants to be stressed out. Everyone wants to feel comfortable so that you can see the most authentic sides of each person and get to know each other. Find out if you want to do this again. And then down the road, do something a little fancier.
Yeah.
If that's what you like.
Yeah. No, that's so true. I completely agree with all that. Especially, the time commitment thing. I feel like a few years ago, I'd have been like, yeah, like, you know, taking on like crazy wild adventure, blah, blah, blah. But it's just like, I want to know now if I want to even do that with that person, you know? So it's like, I want to at least know the basics of the personality before some elaborate thing, you know, because what if you go off and whisk you away and it's just like, I don't even like this person. I can't even talk to this person.
Yeah.
So, but there is also, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, like, after that, I was on Tinder, like, this was like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, all these guys, like, no one really gets the ball rolling, right? And I'm like, I don't have time to be spending, swiping, talking, whatever. So I'm like, okay, got a person, let's talk to them. Okay, let's meet up. And I'm like trying to plan the date because I'm like, let's just take it to your own hands.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what can I do? So I was like, down, talk to you. Like, I want to go do something because I'm always like to be on the go.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, let's go to Get Air.
Oh, yeah.
So he comes and he picks me up from down in Portugal Cove.
Yeah.
And he had like a cool car. It's like for racing.
Okay.
Like that. But I was like, I still need an extra 10 minutes to get ready. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like for people to be punctual, but like, you know, punctual to me is like, don't be 2 hours late.
Yeah.
But like, you know, if a half hour late, like, I appreciate it. Yeah, but I just like, I need an extra
I love
5
how
minutes.
like
And he
one of
came
the
in-
first things you said earlier was like, yeah, and be punctual. But you're like, oh no, I can't go off on that right now. And you're like, but I appreciate if you're like a half an hour late. Like that's perfect for me. So like be punctual, but not too punctual.
No, 100%, because like a lot of people will be, I know. No, but like they just go like 5 hours later and they're like, hey, like, I'm ready now.
Oh
Like
my God,
literally,
yeah.
you know, like,
Yeah.
and that just seems to be the norm. I'm like, I'm in bed now. Like, what do you expect? Like,
Yeah.
you know, but
Yeah.
no, if it's like, oh, we should like go for a walk later around 6:30, then that, like, yeah, it can be a half hour late for that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what was I gonna say? I don't know. All right, so
I was
buddy.
just having the flashback. I was having sex flashbacks just then.
We're the worst for telling stories.
I know. It was from a long time because I was just thinking, it made me think of like the one time that happened to me that I like actually waited for like hours for someone. And I like to this day, I'm just like, Beth, why would you do that? But anyways, so just like I got spaced out thinking about it.
No,
because
it's like you're like, wow, where was your self-respect?
Yeah. It was like it's crazy to me. It was Valentine's Day, and this was I think like our first actual like we had like met up before, but it was like our first actual date.
Right.
And he worked at a car dealership, and he didn't end up picking me up until like close. I feel like it was probably close to midnight, Megan.
Oh my God!
And
we probably had like another couple dates earlier.
We were supposed to go out for dinner. And he kept telling me that, like, oh, he was closing this deal. Oh, these people were from out of town that, like, oh, they just had to wait for some things to go through at the bank and all that stuff. And it ended up being midnight. And now that I look back on that, I'm like, Beth, he was not closing the deal at the car dealership at midnight. There's no way. I don't believe it second anymore. I'm like, he was probably fucking another person right before he came to pick me up.
Yeah, people do that.
Yeah, and just like knowing his personality and like the ways that he acted after that, I'm like looking back on it, I'm just like, Beth, oh man, you totally let him like just play you essentially. Now I would never allow those things to happen. I'd be like, I was like all ready. I had a skirt on and everything. I ended up changing into my jeans a few hours later, still stayed up, and like, no, if that was midnight, I'd be like, no, I was in bed. Like, I'm not coming out now. Like, sorry.
Yeah.
Not sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just funny. It just triggered that memory.
I'm sorry that happened.
I mean, like, yeah, we still ended up
Yeah.
having fun because I was so naive.
Yeah. You're like, whatever, let's just go have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like I would still fucking do that stupid shit.
I know, I like to think.
All right, right. So you Get Air guy.
Yeah, sorry.
What did you say?
I forget. I don't.
Okay. I feel like there's a leg.
Yeah, I think there is a little bit.
A leg.
Yeah,
no, a leg, not a leg. I just got leg mixed up with leg. Okay. Oh yeah. So buddy. Yeah. So he seemed ratted that I was taking like just a couple, like 5 extra minutes to come down over the stairs, but he came in to the spot where I was, which was a cafe, and it has a lot of different like mushrooms and herbs and stuff around, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
So he would get to come and sit down and relax, you know. And, so it was nice, but he was like, kind of like, he said a few like off remarks to me. I'm just like, you know, if someone can't be like that, like wait 5 minutes for someone to come down. I don't even know if it was 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I think he like just expected me to like walk out to the car. I'm like, a gentleman comes through the door and comes in and wait, talks to my parents weren't there, but like back in the days, come talk to the father, say hi, sir, you know, and then the girl comes down a little bit later. Come on, like waiting 5 minutes is not crazy.
No.
You know, and I was rushing. I was doing my very best. Like, you know, it was important to me. I'm not just like taking my time. I'm like, you know. But anyways, and I had just gotten into town that day too. That's why I was, you know. But anyways,
right.
in conversation with Matt, I had like a meh feeling. Also, in his pictures, I didn't realize his head was always turned like this. Every picture, right? And so you go to this side, there was like a massive growth on his face.
Oh,
well, you know, massive.
okay.
It's okay. I'm not judging people, right?
Yeah.
But I don't like it when people gotta hide things. Like, that's what makes it weird. It's just like, okay, I get it. He hid it because it's an insecurity, but it's also like, I just don't like people. It's just a weird feeling for me. Like, I'm not mad at it, but it's also like, it just throws me off. What else are you hiding?
I get that having insecurity, but you know that if you're on a dating app and your goal is to eventually go on dates with people, that they're going to see that right away.
Come across as insincere. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't like that.
Yeah. But anyways, he drove us to get air, and you know, and I'm feeling like he's following me. It felt like a younger brother vibe. Like I gotta say, okay, well, it's time to go in. Like, let's go up to the desk. Okay, let's come over here. Let's put on our shoes, and then before we even go, like he's waiting for me to take the lead to even go on to the trampoline stuff, and it was just. Then I'm like, I gotta spend this entire time jumping with this person, and I just felt weird about it because it's supposed to be a date, but it felt like I was there with my child, but like anyone else looking at us might look at this dynamic as a date and think, oh, that's what she's into. I'm like, I'm not. Like, it's not my vibe. And had I just went on a regular old walk or coffee date or something simple.
Yeah.
And my brain is like jumping, like, I'm so much more creative than all these guys, and I'm like taking the lead. I'm gonna get what I want out of this. And I'm like, I understand these people now. I understand these people. Okay, it's hard out there. It's hard out there for a guy.
Yeah.
Considering they're the ones who are like expected to do the reaching out stuff.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, if I want something like a date, if I want to be going on dates, then I gotta put it into the world what I want, what I'm trying to get. So let me do the asking and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just I'm not getting the right people,
the
right type of people for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we were committed to this whole thing, and then food afterwards.
Oh, okay.
And he just talked all about himself, about his cars, fixing up cars, and I had to be the. And I started getting sick too from the whole thing. Like I was coming down with a cold, and you know your body's getting all weird. And so he's talking to me, and we're sitting in the bottom of Yellow Belly, and he's just going on about cars, and I'm like, I started fading. I fell asleep, and he's still talking. And it's amazing how many guys do this. You fall asleep, and you're like this, and guys are still talking. It's amazing.
That's so crazy. I'm like, social cues, people. Social cues.
Beth, I tell you, every time. It's the type of people I attract.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, that's brutal. And that's the thing, though, when you don't know people very well and then you've committed to, like, multiple things. Because there is also something to be said for, like, not knowing someone to come up with, like, a different kind of idea. You know, if you've been on so many coffee dates or drink dates or whatever, it's just like, how many dates have I been on down the third glass down there? You know? And just like every weekend, someone new. They're probably like, "Oh, who's our man this weekend?" You know. After a while, it's just kind of like I appreciate someone suggesting a different kind of idea.
Yeah, it's true. Which like you can always meet up
But-
there and then and then
Yeah.
decide.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Mm.
Like, yeah, I think I have like a different outlook on it now, and I
Yeah.
like the idea of like, yeah, just like a daytime date, like grabbing a beer or like whatever and sitting on the bench, like it said in the article.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
yeah, that sounds nice. And then it can end
Mhm.
there, or you can, then you can
Yeah.
like go out to dinner or something after if you want to, or go do an activity, like,
Which is true. But even then, I don't want to be doing that, even if it's a good time.
Yeah.
And also, it doesn't have to be like a coffee date. Like it could be, let's go, would you like to grab some dessert with me tonight?
Mm.
Dessert and coffee or something, and cute spot
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever.
Mhm.
Maybe it has a bit of music, something. It could be that,
Yeah.
or it could be, yeah, it could just be like walking on the road for ice cream and whatever.
Yeah.
Something,
Mhm.
some simple date set. It's not going to take a lot of time.
Mhm.
But I would always plan something for after.
Yeah.
Because if I want to go home and I don't have something planned, and then I got time. Oh, I don't know how to like pros. Okay, they're back.
Okay. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I would like to plan something for after, because then it's stressful for the next time you have to hang out the next time you want to hang out. Because then you might start thinking like, oh, I'd love to hang out with her, but like it's going to be a lot of commitment.
Yeah.
Or I'd like to hang out with him, but it's going to be a lot of commitment every time.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's like, no, I don't want to set the precedent
Mhm.
right from the get-go
Mhm.
that every time I hang out with you, that's going to be
Yeah.
a long time.
Yeah.
Or that's
No,
going to be
that's so
constant
true.
money and this and
Yeah.
that. So, and I don't want to be getting sick of each other. I
Yeah.
want to be fun, right?
Yeah.
So, leave them wanting more.
Mm.
Leave
Yeah.
them wanting more of your time.
Yeah. No, it's true, and that's something I wish I did more with the other person, the last person I was seeing. It's just like giving too much right away, and then it's just like no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
Okay.
wishing it was just like shorter amounts of time rather
Yeah.
than. Yeah, because it's kind of sets that precedent right from the get-go
Yeah.
of like the amount of
Yeah.
time that you're going to spend together.
Yeah.
So.
Like people get expectations like that.
Yeah.
You give them a
Yeah.
cookie,
Mhm. Mhm.
ask for a glass of milk
Yeah.
and tell you to clean up the crumbs after.